Hello friends. I'm aware this is the same outfit I wore in last week's episode, but when I came to this house that I'm pet sitting at, I really didn't bring that many clothes with me that weren't for work, and I don't really feel like wearing scrubs for this video, so sorry. Today we're going to be talking about the final episode of Produce X101. It literally just ended maybe 10-15 minutes ago, and I'm here to film my video. I did a live stream for the top 10. The first part of it got copyrighted, so that was a good time, but the second half of it is up. I probably won't end up using any footage from it. I don't know, maybe I will, but yeah, I will link that if you want to check out my reactions to the top 4. I have been up since too early watching this show today, and I'm tired. Maybe I should go get some caffeine before I actually film this. Just kidding. We're getting caffeine first. Bye. I'm back. I brought some tea. Oh boy, do we have tea though. So, the notes from just the episode itself, and then we're going to talk about final members of X1, which is the name of the group, and then we're going to talk about if I'm going to stand this group or not. So, let's get started. So, the group's name was revealed to be X1. They showed a bunch of the boy team and the To My World team preparing for the stages. All this time, voting was open. You could vote. If you texted in, then your vote would count, or your text would count for 7 votes. There was that. And then, so boy team recording, Hangul, Jinhyuk, and Yuvin were all said that they did very well. Wonjin's voice was a lot better because the last time they had to record a song, he had that vocal issue, and today that was not a problem, so that was super cool. Then they had their dance practice and everybody danced well. Yuvin got complimented for being, when he was trying to be in the center, he got a lot of compliments from the trainers. Wonjin really stood out to the trainers as well. Trainer Jae-sung chose Wonjin for center. Youngjun chose Yuvin as the center. So the To My World group, most of them had never been the center in their groups before. Johan got a lot of compliments from the producers saying that sang his part really well, rapped really well in his part. Yeah, the trainers also said he was excellent. He was doing a really good job. Hyungjun tried to be the center, and everybody said he looked really cool, but I still think he looked like a baby, so yeah. Daehyun talked about how he was trying to pull a Baejin and debut. They're from the same company, so yes. Boy had to all record, each member of both groups had to record themselves as the center, do a video. All those videos got released yesterday, so if you haven't seen them, you should check them out because they only show tiny snippets of them here. The funny part of this was, so all the boys were sitting in a room of the Beunos team was sitting in a room watching all of the videos, and then they all had to cast a vote and they had to choose who the center was going to be for the stage. The top 2 centers from this were Yuvin and Wonjin, and Yuvin ended up being the center of this group, which they said was a really big deal because every center of the previous final groups have all debuted in the debut group. So the final stages during the finale, those centers always have debuted in the past. So it's a big deal. So Yuvin got, oh my gosh, he's debuting. That's crazy. Oh my gosh, Yuvin. Then before they show this though, they stopped and they said, okay, here's our current 9 through 12 ranked boys. They were Daehyun, Donghyun, and Hangul. So those were the 4 boys that were announced in the middle of the show. The boys who were just about under, either slightly above debut line or slightly below debut line. So that, whenever those 4 boys gets released, it's a big deal because it always changes the final lineup. 100% always changes the final lineup. Then I stopped taking as many notes because I got nervous, and so I started doing chores around the house. So I didn't take as many notes at this part, but basically then they did the same thing with the To My World Center. They had all the boys in the room, they all watched the videos, and the top 2 were Johan and Yoonsung, and Yoonsung ended up being chosen as center. And at that moment, I was like, Yoonsung is debuting, Woolen boys are debuting, that's it, that's the end of waiting for Woolen boys to debut. So yes, Yoonsung, I think, Yuvin did a great job as center, first of all. He was one of my predicted centers. After watching all the individual videos, I was like, Yuvin did really well. And I said Dongpyo did really well, I think were my 2. For To My World, I think I chose Seungwoo and Sungyun? I think I chose those 2. Or Chajuno. Those are my, so obviously I did not guess this boy right. I didn't think Hyun Sung's fan cam was that, his cam was that impressive. I think he did a better job in front of the trainers than he did in his individual video, but yeah. But I think he did a great job on stage. And the fact that he didn't have to sing that part, like the center part, it was an all part, was really good because Hyun Sung could not hit those notes during his video. He could not. Then Daehyun from AB6 101, that Daehyun, he came in and had a song for the boys, the sad song that I never listened to because I hate it. So yeah, they all sang that really sad song. It was a really, really pretty song. I think Daehyun did a great job with that song. I also really liked To My World. I didn't like Boy very much. I had a feeling I wasn't going to, but I really liked To My World, and I think it's because the same person who did You Got It, and I really love You Got It, so I think that is why. Then they did, basically the next hour and a half was Mnet killing time. So they did past member, the current top 20 talking to each other, like little notes and things. They showed their first meeting videos when they auditioned for Produce X101. They showed the members sending letters to current top 20 members and then eliminated from the top 101. Then we got into the top 11, and I did the first part of this live stream. I think I made it all the way up through number 5 or number 4. Let's talk about, I'm gonna do 10 through 1, and then we're gonna talk about X because that's how Dong did it, and that's how I'm gonna do it. That's what I want to do. I predicted a lot of these people, but the people I didn't predict, I'm very happy with. So number 10 was Starships Kunming. I'm so shook that he made it into this group. Honestly, everyone was so shook. I think that when Kang Min-hee was announced, he was the first boy to be announced as a final member. Everyone was like, this is going to be a very different lineup than what we were expecting. So I'm going to say my opinion on each of the members. So remember, this is only my opinion. Do not get mad at me if my fave is, or your fave is not my fave and my fave is not your fave. This is just my opinion. I will try to be respectful of every member of X1, but let's just discuss. So, became my favorite Starship boy after Moon Hyunbin got eliminated because love that boy, Moon Hyunbin. Ugh, so much. But Kang Min-hee, love him a lot. I recently became a really big fan of him. He was my favorite boy in the Pretty Girl team, and I think he's a very good vocalist. I think he's really cute. I think he has both a cute and a mature side to him. Do I think he's the strongest vocalist on this show? Absolutely not. I am very happy that he did debut. I'm very, very happy about this because he is someone that I couldn't see Starship wanting to hold on to if he did not make it into the group, and I had no idea that he was going to make it. I did not think he was going to make it into this group. Number 9 was Ulim's Chajuno. Very surprised because at one point they showed Juno as the 11th boy, like the X boy. He was ranked 11th for votes at that time. And when that happened, I was like, either people are going to start voting a lot more for their boys or they're going to start voting a lot more for Juno and he's going to debut. And he did debut. So Chajuno, I think, is a very talented individual. I know that not everyone thinks that, and that's okay with me, honestly. You don't have to think that, but I think he has a ton of potential. I think he is very good looking, not in a creepy way because I am kind of older than him. I think that he's very talented. I think he is very strong. He has very good vocals. I think his dancing is very, very good. His live stages, his live vocals are very good because he's from Woollim Entertainment, and you can't be from Woollim Entertainment without that. Oh, I'm gonna miss the Woollim boys. I am happy for him. I said at the beginning of my stream that I was just going to be happy for whoever made it into the group, and if they were my favorite boy and I didn't want them to make it, but if they made it, I would fully support them. So that is how I feel about Chajuno getting into this group. Number 8 was Nam Do-hyun from MBK, and after we got those 2 boys that had never really been in the top 11, even though Chajuno had been in the top 11 before, but Minnie had never been in the top 11, I was like, I don't know who they kicked out to get him into the top 11. get them into the top 11. So Daehyun was somebody I knew was going to debut. I think he's a very good rapper. He's not my favorite rapper on this show, but I do acknowledge he's very talented and he knows how to be very cute and also perform on a more mature stage. So I think he has that going for him. The next boy was another surprise. Another person I did not expect was MBK's, I always forget what his last name is, Hangul. Hangul debuted. Everybody has been harassing me about two trainees in my Curious Cat on my predicted videos. They were like, Tony and Hangul need to debut. These are the two boys that I have gotten message after message after message or comment after comment after comment about. And I've been like, I don't think it's happening. We're very happy. We were very happy about Hangul. I very much approve of this. I did not expect Hangul to make it. I love him. I think he has a great personality. I think he's a very, very good dancer. And he has a more mature, like, image, so I wasn't sure if he was going to make it into this group. I was not sure at all, but he did, and I'm very excited about it. Number 6 is someone I'm so excited about, so excited about. It is Dongpyo. You definitely don't agree with me about this, but I love Dongpyo so much. So, Dongpyo, I did not like Dongpyo at first. When he first got chosen as the Pick Me Center, I was like, I literally have no idea who you are. And which is how I felt about most of the boys until after the first elimination. After the second elimination, I feel like I really knew most of the people in the top, but before that, there were just a lot of names going around. So yes, Dongpyo cried so much. I was like so excited about Dongpyo because I did not want him to debut. Even as the X member, I didn't want him to like not debut. I'm so happy he's in this group. I think he's a great dancer. In the Yepo Yepo team, he was the dancer that stood out the most to me over Hyungjun. I think he just has such sharp, like, crisp movements, and I think he's a very underrated dancer actually on Produce. I think he is a stable vocalist. I think he has a lot of really great facial expressions, but he also has vocals to back up that, so he's not like just a visual, you know what I mean? So anyways, love him so much. So happy he debuted. Number 5 was Seungyoon, who was one of the people I was afraid was going to drop out after the top 11 kind of switched up so much, the top 10 rather, switched up so much. I was so afraid he wasn't going to debut, but here he is, alive and well. I think he's a great vocalist. I think he's a great rapper, a great dancer. He is an overall, like, just good at literally everything trainee, and I think he will be a very powerful member for this group, and I'm very, very excited for Seungyoon to debut. He was one of the boys, the pre-debuted boys that I wanted to debut so much, along with Hangul. Those two, I was like, from the already debuted boys, that is who I want. Then, next, number 4 was Hyungjun, and Starship Hyungjun, who I wasn't sure was actually going to debut after a while, but his stands, they really came through for him. And he's been pretty consistently high most of the show, I would say. It's some of the boys that are also on this team, I feel like him and Dongpyo don't quite fit with. That's a later problem. He's never been my favorite trainee, but he's one of those trainees that a few episodes ago, I came to terms that he was debuting and I'm okay with it. And I'm not upset that he debuted at all. I do not hate him. Do not say that I hate him. I do not hate him. Is he probably lowest on my bias list from this lineup? Yeah. My 11th favorite of this group. Number 3 was Seungwoo. I was so excited. We got to the top 4. After Hyungjun was announced, I said, okay, so people who were in the top 4 last week, the top 4 I loved so much, one of them is not there. My bet was on Jinhyuk. No way are Johan and Usak getting out of the top 10. Like, that's just not a possible thing that could happen. And I really wanted Seungwoo to debut because after looking at this lineup, I was like, we really need a real main vocalist. And Seungwoo came through at number 3. Absolutely love him. I've been following Victon since debut. I think he is one of the most talented people in the entire world. One of the most talented people from his group's generation in K-pop. So, if you've never seen any of his videos from Victon singing and rapping, there is a compilation up on YouTube. You should go look it up because he's like so incredibly talented and I love him so much. Number 2 is Kim Woo-suk. Number 1 is Kim Yohan. When those two were announced, I was like, they better not throw a twist here. I need some consistency in the top 10. And there's our consistency. Wooseok, I've been following Uptension since debut, just like Victon, and I really love Wushin. I think that he is so talented and so handsome and so good at really so many things. And he has had a rough past couple of years. I talked about it in my video where I went over that have happened to Uptension and Victon during their careers. And one of the things I mentioned about Uptension was Wushin's year-long, a little over a year hiatus because of a scandal he was in that was proved to be false, and I think it really messed him up. And I think of the boys that I would have preferred not to debut, like the Victon boys and the top TOP Media boys, I really wanted him to debut the most from them because he has been getting so much love lately, and he just hasn't seen that in a long time, and I just really need him to like feel like he's really important and really good and just real, like, I am so happy for him. And Johan, I really wanted Johan to be the center of this season because I feel like Johan has been the center of this season. I feel like he's the trainee that people know the most, including if you're not even watching the show, you just know who Kim Johan is. And I just feel like he is a overall well-rounded trainee and has a great personality and has never caused any drama on Produce at all. Like, he's just been pretty clean this entire time, and a good rapper and a good vocalist and a good dancer. He's gotten countless compliments from trainers. So I am very, very happy about him being the first place boy. Let's go down to the X boy, because you might be wondering where some of the people who were supposed to be on this list but got bumped out, where they went to. They went down to the X position. For potential X boys, we had Brand New Music's Unsung, Starship Entertainment's Jungmo. We had Kim Mingyu from Jellyfish. Very surprised he was here. Very surprised, very surprised. I thought if it was between him and Hyungjun getting kicked out of the top 5, it would have been Hyungjun, honestly, and that's not because of any personal reasons. It's just because Mingyu, I really thought, he's been such a powerful like contender this entire show, longer than Hyungjun's been a powerful contender, so I just figured he would be the one who would stay. Our last boy was Jinhyuk from TOP Media, Way from Uptension, Way from Uptension. Wushin's label mate, his group mate, his friend who's been with him this entire show, even though they've been in, I think 0 groups together so far. Nope, they were in the same group for the debut evaluation, but that was it. Then they spent, I kid you not, we spent 30 minutes announcing this boy. Like 30 minutes announcing who the X-boy was. So the 14th place was Jinhyuk of TOP Media. A lot of people have been calling him the Junghyun of this season. I personally, or the Khan of this season, I personally hate that phrase. I hate it. I hate when people say things like, who's gonna pull a Junghyun? Who's gonna pull a Khan? Because their situations are completely different. I predicted Jinhyuk to be 3rd place, I think, 3rd or 4th, on my top ranking video. And when I did that, I put him there because I said he's either going to rank in the top 4 or he's not going to debut. There's no way he has enough votes to debut as the X-boy because he was so low ranked at the beginning of this season, and only after, like during the turtle ship thing, I think is when he started to really jump up and everybody really like started paying attention to him. So we were kind of pretty far through the show when Jinhyuk became somebody in the top 10. So I knew he had no potential as X-boy. I knew that the people voting for Jinhyuk were probably also voting for Wooseok and probably were focusing on voting for Wooseok. So I figured if he wasn't in the top 4, he was not going to debut. So I'm not surprised because I kind of predicted this. He is my bias in Uptension, so I'm very sad. He's one of the reasons I started watching this show, to be honest. And I'm very sad about him not debuting here, but you know, up 9 shin sounds a lot better than up 8 shin. And I think that with Jinhyuk being in Uptension and then making a 9-membered comeback, because Uptension toured as 8, so you know that TOP Media will give them a comeback as 9. They have a lot of potential to be really popular now and kind of be a like New East W level until Wushin comes back in 2.5 years. The final contract is 5 years, 2.5 years Wushin can promote with Uptension as well as with X1. So that's why I say 2.5 years. The next boy to be announced who was eliminated was Jungmo of Starship, and I'm honestly happy because we did not need 3 Starship boys in the final group. We didn't. If 3 Starship boys had been in the final group, then I really would have just wanted them all to go back to Starship and just debut there with Moon Hyunbin. Like, they could have just done that. anyways, that's my thought on that. I don't really feel any certain way about Jungmo. I never really have. I think he's really cute, but besides that, I've never had any like thoughts that have like stayed in my brain about him. Like, oh, he did really well in this performance. Like, I've never really thought that. Number 2, so it was Eunbi versus Mingyu, and I was like, it's gonna be Mingyu. Eunbi looked like he thought it was Mingyu too. Mingyu did not debut today. He went back to Jellyfish Entertainment. I'm so shook because once Mingyu was not in the top 4 or 5, I was like, he's the X-boy. That's boring, but he's the X-boy because there's no way. He's been so high ranked for most of this show. I don't particularly care for him. I've made that pretty well known. I don't particularly care for him, but I thought he was gonna debut. He's like Hyungjun. I had accepted that he was going to debut, and I was okay with that because, you know, I hate saying this. Mingyu was a really hard worker. I hate just saying hard worker because everybody works hard, but I thought he was going to debut. I've really grown to like Eunbi the past couple of episodes. Like, I've never really had any like Jungmo, I've never really had any like solid thoughts about him, but the past couple episodes, I've really grown to think that he's really cute and like he's been improving a lot, and maybe he does have a more solid voice than I thought. Ever since he was actually in the tweet group, his vocals were phenomenal in that. It wasn't main vocal phenomenal, but they were really good. So I've been like, okay, like maybe Eunbi can stay. And then he didn't really do anything in the You Got It team, but you know, I thought he was really cute, and you know, so of the X-boys of these 4, Junhyuk is the one I wanted, but I'm content with Eunbi. The other 2, I probably wouldn't have been as content with. So those were the top 10 plus X, the top 11 members of Produce X101, the final lineup, the members of X1, who will be debuting for 5 years, 2.5 years. I want to talk about a couple of things I think will happen to boys who got eliminated today. So let's talk about that real fast. The brand new boys, I think, will do something along the lines of MXM during the 2.5 years that Eunbi cannot promote with them. So that is my current plan for what I think brand new will do with them, because brand new did that with 2 members of AV6 and MXM, did that with them, while Woojin and Daehyun were in 101. I really thought that none of the Woolen boys were gonna make it today. Really didn't. I had a dream a couple days ago where Chajuno made number 8, because in that dream I had missed the live stream. I, for some reason, woke up at 11 o'clock and missed the live stream, so I went on Twitter to look for the members of the final lineup, and I was scrolling just for Woolen boys, so I don't remember who else was in that dream, but I remember seeing Chajuno at number 8, so I had a feeling that maybe he would debut today. Call me Kim Min-so, but So I think the Woolen boys, I don't know, because Yoonsung didn't make it. Also, the centers, Yoonsung and Yubin, neither of them made it, so that was a little sketch. A little weird about that, but they didn't really choose kind of popular members to debut, or to be the center. Like, if it had been, who else was it? I think if it had been Wonjin and Johan, we would have seen Wonjin in the top 11. But I don't know. Yoonsung and Yubin were ranked not so low. Yoonsung was 13th, but anyways, because Yoonsung is still under Woolen, I can't see Woolen completely ignoring them for 2.5 years. I don't think that they will debut, but I think they'll do some sort of project thing. Maybe they'll pull like an MXM and do something along those lines, or have them feature on like Lovely's albums or Golden Child. I don't think Golden Child, but Lovely's, because yeah, I think Woolen will still do something with some of them, because there's 5 of the 6 there. So I don't think they will debut. I think there will be something going on there. Seungwoo, I think for Victon will continue as 6 members. I can't see them not continuing, especially with Byungchan there, but I think they're going to wait until Byungchan feels better, and then they will promote. I'm a little sad about Seungwoo having to enlist while X1 is a group, but yeah, I feel like I said, I feel like we needed him in this lineup. I feel like we needed him 100% in this lineup. And then Wooseok, I talked about Attention. I think they're gonna make comebacks as 9 because Jinhyuk was such a popular member. I think they have the potential to start doing a lot better with their music and stuff. And they promoted without Wooseok for a year before, so this is not new. Like the members, this is not new for the members of Attention to promote without Wooseok. I think that they will do a comeback with Wooseok after 2.5 years when they're allowed to promote in both groups at the same time. I think I'm gonna stan. I do. I was fully prepared to come here today and give you my predicted lineup list and say I'm not standing because I really don't have that many faves in this group. And I have a lot of faves in this group. Who's my bias? Currently probably Johan, but I'm not going to say bias until they actually debut. Daniel was my highest pick from the lineup, and then Jaehwan became my bias. So my ranking doesn't really matter as far as like who my bias is going to be. It doesn't really affect it much. We'll see what happens with that. Thank you so much for watching Produce X101 with me. I literally started filming these videos because I had a couple of friends who did it last year for Produce 48, and I thought that they weren't planning on doing it again this year, so I was like, well, I'm gonna do it because I want to talk about produce with some people. But I have received so much love from you guys for these videos, and I am just so happy that we could all watch Produce together and talk about Eminent together. Yeah, thanks so much for watching Produce with me. It was really fun. I'm really happy I did this. If there's another season of Produce next year, we'll do it again. We'll do it again, because you know, I watch them all anyways, so might as well watch it with you guys so we can all talk about Mnet's editing together. World Class is also Mnet, so I feel like that'll be a good time. But yes, thank you so much for watching this video in my Produce series. If you have not seen any of my reviews from the past episodes, I do have a playlist that will go ahead and pop up right here if you would like to watch them. They should be in order in that playlist, but yes, thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you guys very, very soon. Bye.